can I say? So they had this thing, they wrote this thing about my accent changing. And that really, you know, he's a comedian, he's from somewhere else. And, you know, I've always found it slightly unusual that I'm practically the only person with a British accent in the show. Something that we have glossed over in credibility terms. But there it is. Brits are baddies, they're good baddies, there it is. This speech came up, and the producer, one of the producers who will remain nameless, was like, yeah, you know, we want you to have this kind of, we want you to have this voice, and you're talking about the farming. If you remember, it's all about how I was born on a sheep farm or something, you know, and tended to the cows. He went, can you do a Michael Caine accent? What? It's like, well, Michael Caine. I went, well, Michael Caine's like from the East End of London. They don't have any sheep farms. What are you talking about? It's like, yeah, but it's cool, the Americans don't. You know, on our side of the Atlantic, we don't know. We just want to hear, can't you do a Michael Caine impression? I'm like, for God's sake, this is totally ludicrous. So then I said, well, if you're talking about dairy farms, and you don't want me to do an American accent in that way, then I will do a regional British accent. And one of the places for dairy farms in England is like down in the south, near Dorset. The home county is down there. And they have a kind of strange accent down there in Dorset. It's kind of talking like that. Friendly. It's kind of a bit Bristol, but that's like the down south regional accent. So I then did that for the producer who went, you look demented. I said, can't you? I mean, he's looking at his friend. I mean, don't you think, Michael Caine would be great. You know, East End sweatshop meets, oh dear. So finally, because that was the most, in that sense, that's where most of the dairy farms are, that would have been the most normal for me. And in the end I said, well, I'll do Yorkshire for you. Because I spent 3 years at York University, and whatever, it's a slightly duskier accent, maybe a bit more, I just feel a bit more manly, if you know what I mean, and a bit tougher. And these people up north are traditionally, you know, the miners, people who, you know, work with their hands in the toilet. I was like, there are no dairy farms up there, but it will do. So I felt at the time that, you know, I felt that it was ludicrous. Really, I was not so into it. And then slowly, when I saw the way that they'd edited it and what had been done, I thought that, yeah, they're very clever. And I thought that certain nuances of this thing really worked. And it's one of the reasons for this thing, I believe, is building up a profile for somebody who wants to be a messiah. Because if he was going to be just the natural scientist, etc., like I was saying, so many messiahs or fake messiahs in our history come from very humble roots, so it kind of made sense. Also, I was going to say on that level, lots of fake messiahs sleep with everybody they possibly can, and that becomes part of their cult. And it seems very much part of Baltar's cult as well.